Kakadosh Bokeror, we're just continuing with the halachot of Pesach. Now we're going to continue with the shiur of the Kazayit. We know that on the night of Pesach, a person has to eat certain kazatim. Now, how much exactly is a Kazayit? There's going to be a difference between the Kazayit of the Maror, which is the chasa, and the Kazayit of the Matzah. The reason why is once Rav Mazuz actually asked the question to people and it stumbles them. They say, what weighs more, right? What weighs more exactly? A kilo of iron or a kilo of feathers? It's the same. Why? Because we're talking about weight. Once we're talking about weight, it's going to be the same. However, though, when we're talking about volume, there's going to be a world of a difference. So because of that, what happens is, it's actually brought down as follows. We know that lalacha, it's actually really behemet volume. The only thing is, since it's very difficult to do volume, so therefore we go by the weight, and that's what the majority of the poskim go by, that especially the Sfaradim. Because why? Because they say that, listen, where it's very difficult to find out exactly the volume, but really, behemet, it is volume. The only thing is, we just go by the weight, because it's just much easier to go by. So one kazayit is going to be around 28.8 grams. And since one kazayit is going to be 28.8 grams, by the chasa, by the maror, it's basically the same weight and volume. So which means that it's going to be the same weight and volume, the maror, which is the romaine lettuce, and the weight and the volume. By matzah, it's not like that. By the matzah, since you could crumple it up and put it inside, it's much less. So therefore, it is brought down that a person could be lenient that basically by 20 grams of weight, you have 28.8 grams of volume. So therefore, if you do 20 grams of weight, you're already going to be okay. This is the psak of whether it's going to be Rav Ben Zion Abba Shaul, Rav Mazuz, Rav Moshe Feinstein, the Chazon Ish, here the Sefer also the Ramued. The Yalkut Yosef does bring down that you should always do the 28.8 grams, whether it's going to be whichever way that you're going to go. But for sure, a person can be lenient, which basically goes that they're going to have 20 grams of weight, they for sure have the 28.8 grams of volume. So therefore, Rav Mazuz says, in a big matzah that you have of mechonat yad, shuna matzah, usually you will be able to have 4 kazetim, which means if you actually weigh it, it'll be around 80 grams. So according to that, if you have to have even the 2 kazetim for motzi matzah, all you're having is half of the matzah, and that's already going to be more than enough. If you're going to have again for the afikoman also 2, because again we mentioned zechel korban pesach and the zechel matzah, which is eaten with the korban pesach. So therefore the Mishnah Berurah says you should have 2 kazetim for the afikoman. So again, it's going to be a half a matzah. So technically speaking, on the night of Pesach, if we're talking about that you're going to go by this, you're basically eating 1 full matzah of avodat yad, and that's going to be the 4 kazetim already, and then another little bit, another fourth. That's what it is. It's not talking about some people, they come and they say, no, Rabbi, I have to eat 3 matzot with all the kazetim. Saying, where's 3 matzot? You don't have to eat that much, right? We're talking about 1 round matzah. Again, we're talking about the thin ones. If it's going to be thicker, so it's going to be even less, because obviously when we're going by the weight, as long as you have the 20 grams of weight, it's going to be enough for everything else.